Hey, what's up, chat? It's your boy Trash, and today I'm gonna be making a very brief video about a game that I tried recently. It's a demo open now in this most recent Steam Fiesta demo bonanza, whatever you want to call it. The game is called Thymesia. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Presented as a Souls-like experience. Now, does this game have what it takes to be the next Souls-like game that everybody's going to be talking about? After playing the demo, I got some feedback, and I don't want to shit on anyone's parade. I understand how hard it is to make a game, how hard it is to balance a game, and as an artist, I understand how hard it is to try and adjust things when you've been looking at them for so long, and you're trying to make them good for everybody else, but you got so used to what you're looking at that it's hard to pinpoint what could be different or what should be different. Now, my feedback is merely my opinion, and if you don't agree and you actually like the things that I didn't like, that's great. Now, the number one thing I would like to point out that I really like about this game, of course, it's the visuals. Everybody's comparing it to, Bloodborne at home, but after you play the game, it really doesn't feel like Bloodborne at all. I wouldn't say that that's a bad thing. I love Bloodborne. It's my second favorite Souls game, and, it's not bad at all. But we see a guy with a plague doctor's mask, and of course, immediately we get drawn into that. However, the game does not feel like that at all. It feels like its own thing, and that's great. It doesn't feel like Neo. It doesn't feel like Dark Souls. It doesn't feel like Bloodborne. If anything, the closest thing it feels like is Sekiro. So when it comes to visuals, spot on, great. I wouldn't change a thing. The game controls well, the game feels good, it's great. First negative thing I have to point out, but the team has already addressed this, still I want to give my 2 cents, it's the dodging. In the demo, it feels so stiff. You dodge to the side, your character comes to a full standstill, and most of the times, most enemies that were in the demo have homing attacks, and they can easily just chase you and get you, and that kind of sucks. Now, again, on their Twitter, it was mentioned that you will have upgrades that will change your dodge, it will change the way it works. However, personally, I'm not a big fan of making a stat change how well you can roll and dodge and avoid enemies. But if this is the team's vision and if this is what the team wants for the game, then I respect it fully. And if I still see that I would enjoy playing the game, I will still play it, and I will still get it, I will still play it. Another thing that I really liked but didn't like at the same time was how music was used. It felt like it was always there, which, if you've paid any attention to any other Souls game, something that really helps on the atmosphere, and not even Souls game, even if we talk about Breath of the Wild, which I know people always have to bring up Breath of the Wild and Souls, but if you bring up, if you think about games like that, one thing that really works out super well is having no music at certain times. Music also, it could have no music at sometimes. Always having music kind of makes it feel like an action game. I would say that whenever the character is out of combat, there is no need for music. Except if you come up to, a big discovery, a big area you haven't seen yet, or something, a big reveal. But as you're walking through the streets, I don't really think that it's needed to have music playing all the time. It kind of kills a little bit the vibe and makes it more happy than somber and mysterious. So I would say, from a player standpoint and from someone who does pay a lot of attention to audio, I would say that cutting out audio from times where you're not in combat would really benefit the game. But again, that's my 2 cents. Even though I don't like the idea of talents changing the way you dodge and you avoid enemies, I like the idea of talents later on changing your combat chains, because it really doesn't feel like we're gonna have more weapons. If we are, then cool. But again, this is what it reminded me so much of Sekiro. It feels like it's gonna be one character built around the talents that you're gonna have, just like in Sekiro. And that's okay, that's fine. I feel like, yeah, later on having more attack chains, or even a slower charge on some of the attacks, that would be great. Because currently in the demo, you do have your dagger, your sword, I think. it was always the same thing. You attack twice, sometimes 3 times, and then you have to either get ready to parry or dodge, and then go in with your claw attack, which I hope that that's one of the things that you can change the charge rate. It feels a little bit slow to come out, but the claw attack is really cool. So basically in this game, what happens is that enemies have 2 health bars. You attack the first health bar, you expose the second health bar, which is a green one, and if you use your claw attack, you stop the enemy from recovering their health. Since the white health bar, so the first health bar, can recover completely as long as you don't keep attacking or you don't interrupt the green healing with your claw. It's a great mechanic. It's a really fun mechanic. It makes you pretty much fight the enemies for double the time of what they should be fought, and it really gives you that sense of pressure that you must go, you need to attack, and that's cool. So I hope that the claw is one of the things that gets changed with talents. Now, to another thing that I really disliked was the parry system. Even though the parry works great, it feels, and excuse my French, like shit when you parry an enemy and they just continue attacking you like nothing happened. There should be a deflect animation, even if it's a 1 second or half a second deflect animation. There should be some sort of interruption when you parry an enemy, because if an enemy is swinging and you parry them, they're gonna continue swinging like nothing happened. There's no like small deflect, there's no stagger, nothing. Like the enemy just continues that pattern, and it kind of feels like the game is asking you to play perfectly all the time. It's very punishing when it comes to that. Now again, this is a demo, things can change, but from my experience, that's what I felt like. And the last thing is a hate-love relationship here with the interrupt system. So enemies have some of these attacks that are critical, where you can parry or you can't parry, and these attacks can't be parried. These attacks have to be interrupted with a special skill, your feathers, or dodged. Now, dodging wasn't always possible, because again, some of the enemies seem to have homing attacks, and the interrupt, I swear for the life of me, I still don't understand how it works. I don't understand if it's when the enemy is charging at me. I don't understand if it's when they're making the attack. I don't understand if it's when the green line connects to me. I feel like either the window here has to be increased, or there has to be a better explanation of it, because like me and nobody in chat could really understand. Sometimes as the enemy was charging towards me, it would work. Sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes it's when they were starting the attack and it would work. Sometimes it wouldn't. And I feel like this is a great idea, and it's going to be really fun for bosses, but it needs polishing. That's about it. It's a great idea. The game is full of great ideas. It just needs polishing. Above all, it feels good to control, and it only seems like it's gonna feel even better with talents. So I would say that after this experience, I am not as hyped as I was from watching the trailers. However, it does fill me with some hope that the team is addressing feedback on Twitter, on social media, on Twitter at least. That it's good. It's good to know that the team is addressing feedback and accepting feedback, and even explaining things as the dodge, which apparently a lot of people complained about. So that's great. That's what I like to see. If the game has to be delayed, please do it. If anyone doesn't understand that a game should be delayed to be better, then you shouldn't even be playing a game. After seeing, and this is a little bit of a sidetrack, but after seeing how much work Rob or Dinosaur Bites put into Clive and Wrench, and seeing how much work goes into making a game and perfecting a game, it kind of made me look at things a little bit different, and I rather have a game be delayed and good than to be rushed or delivered when it has to be and needing patches. So Thymesia, whatever, go try it out if it's still available on Steam as a demo, and maybe wishlist it if it's your thing. I think that the game once again has a lot of potential, and I want it to succeed. I wanted to see it succeed, and I think it's promising. It's probably as promising as Mortal Shell was, or better. I would love to see this rise up to the same level of fan base as Neo or Nio, or it's a good game. Just, I don't know what. I'm bad with names. I'm Portuguese. I Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Stay tuned.